So the key for the Knicks this season has been to survive at all costs. They've missed Mitchell Robinson for about 4 months, Julius Randle for 2 months, and OG, of course, has missed a handful of games as well. But the Knicks got a step closer to getting healthier with Robinson returning to the team last night. He came off the bench in 12 minutes, had 2 blocks, 2 rebounds, and 8 points, made all of his field goals, all 3 of them. Robinson, to me, looked a lot quicker than I had thought, especially for a 7-footer not having played in about 4 months. But Robinson, he truly is the key to us winning a championship. And I know that might sound a little bit crazy because Brunson, Randle, and OG, but you guys have to understand that Robinson, before he got injured this season, was having a career year. He was leading the NBA in offensive rebounding with 5.3 per game. Look at what he did against the Cavs. He had an 18.1% offensive rebound percentage. He also had an 18.4% offensive rebound percentage in the regular season last year. Against the Cavs, Robinson's defense was just insane. I mean, he limited them to 46.2% shooting when within 6 feet of the basket. That is more than 24 percentage points beneath their average from the regular season. And of course, that's not to mention what Robinson does in the pick and roll, his ability to catch lobs and just make it a lot easier for a guy like Jalen Brunson. We know Brunson loves to attack the basket, and Mitch being there might seem like it's going to throw him off, but just having that lob threat, having a guy that can clean it up, because Brunson's going to attract 2 defenders, so even if he does miss the shot, Robinson's always going to be there. I mean, he is going to be a huge piece for our playoffs, and it's good that Isaiah Hartenstein was able to fill in and give us high production, because the Knicks' best record this season is with Hartenstein in the starting lineup, and it makes sense because he's just a very smart player. He moves the ball, he rebounds, he blocks shots. Of course, he doesn't shoot threes like he did with the Clippers. Originally, when we got Hartenstein, I was thinking he's going to get a lot of threes up. He doesn't do that, but he doesn't have to because the Knicks have plenty of shooters around him. I mean, nobody in the NBA has more three-point shooters shooting above 40% this season than the Knicks. I got a comment in yesterday's video saying that when at full strength, this is the best New York Knicks team of all time. And of course, they are going to have to prove that because the 73-74 Knicks won a championship with Walt Frazier and, of course, Earl Monroe, or LaPlore Monroe, and Willis Reed, just to name a few studs on that roster. But I think the Knicks made a serious statement when they were at full strength. And of course, they were missing Mitchell Robinson, but you go back and you look at what we did against the Denver Nuggets, 122-84. The Knicks shot 52.9% from the field, 39.5% from 3. The Nuggets, however, shot 40.5% from the field, 19.2% from 3. Randle had 17, OG 26, Brunson 21, DiVincenzo 16, McBride had 13, Grimes, who's no longer with us, had 19. Overall, the scoring was just all over the place. The Knicks played elite level defense. The Nuggets scored 18 in the fourth quarter, 21 in the first quarter, 20 in the second, and 25 in the third. And then we beat the Heat 125-109. It's interesting to think what the Knicks truly are going to look like at full strength. This is something we talked about in yesterday's video, is how is the rotation going to look like? Because Jalen Brunson's going to be at the 1, at the 2 is going to be Dante DiVincenzo, at the 3, OG Anunoby, at the 4, Julius Randle, and then at the 5, Isaiah Hartenstein. But now you have to understand that our bench is going to be Josh Hart, Miles McBride, Bojan Bogdanovic. It's also going to consist of Mitchell Robinson. Precious Achiuwa is certainly going to be playing. There's just a lot of guys in there. Of course, I don't expect to see much Jericho Sims, Shake Milton. Alec Burks definitely is not going to be in there. The question is, though, how do you divide the minutes? Because Brunson, Devo, those guys are a gimme to be playing 40-plus minutes. Hartenstein and Mitch and Achiuwa, those guys are going to play the center position. OG is going to be playing 40 minutes. Julius Randle, I honestly have no clue when he's even coming back and how much he would play. But I don't think, honestly, Randle is going to play as many minutes as we think. And I actually do agree with the Knicks fans that were commenting on my video. The Knicks have been moving the ball a lot better without Randle. Now, obviously, it's not like our record without Randle is elite, because if it was, then I'd seriously be considering maybe we're better without Randle. But we just simply are not better without Julius Randle, especially in the playoffs. Teams are just going to make anyone beat them but Jalen Brunson. And when you're going up against the best defenses, the best teams, that's not going to get it done. I love DiVincenzo, I love OG and Hart, but these guys are just not good enough to be able to do it without Brunson having those big time performances, which is why Randle's so important, because you can't double Brunson with Randle out there. Now you're leaving shooters open. It's the same thing. You don't let Randle go one-on-one. That's why teams in the playoffs were throwing doubles at Randle, and he wasn't really ready for it. But I mean, we saw Mitchell Robinson, Randle, RJ, like these guys struggled in their first playoff series. and IQ struggled for us last year, but I think this is the turning point for the Knicks. They have enough depth, enough firepower to be able to handle themselves, and especially considering the fact that the Knicks are the 3 seed. Yeah, missing Mitch for about 4 months, missing Randall for 2. OG's missed a lot of games, yet here are the Knicks at 44-28, a half game ahead of the Cleveland Cavaliers for the 3 seed. It truly is remarkable. I mean, that's a 61% winning percentage. That's just incredible. The Knicks are 8-2 over their last 10 games. It's just truly remarkable. I think Coach Thibodeau should be in the running for Coach of the Year. He already has one over the Knicks, so this would be his 3rd all-time. He got one with the Bulls, I want to say. But Tib, he has just have everyone buy into his system, which is defending. The Knicks were up 40 points last night. They won by 44, but even when they were still defending like they were in a neck-and-neck game. And that, a lot of that has to do with Coach Tib and just his principles and what he installs into these players. It's just been a beautiful thing to see. The difference for the Knicks during the 2022-23 season, the New York Knicks had the 3rd highest offensive rating. So when they traded for OG Anunoby, the hope was that he would transform them into an elite defensive team. In the first month with OG, remember the Knicks are 16-2 with him in the starting lineup. For that first month, the Knicks had the highest defensive rating in the league. So they're hoping that they can be elite defensively and be elite offensively, because more often than not, that's how you win in the NBA, and the Knicks certainly were doing it. I think for the Knicks, they have gone through as much adversity as any other team this season, just due to the injuries, of course, and it hasn't been role players or depth pieces. I mean, we're talking about an all-NBA player in Julius Randle. We're talking about one of the best defenders in the NBA, a guy that's also giving you 15 to 16 a night, in OG Anunoby, and then Mitchell Robinson, who is one of the best bigs in the NBA. It sounds crazy to say, but Mitch actually truly is one of the best bigs, and his numbers speak for itself. The way he rebounds, protects the rim. Look at opponents' shot percentage when being guarded by Mitch. Robinson held opponents about 7.5 percentage points beneath their shooting averages during the regular season. Against the Cavs, more than 24 percentage points beneath their averages from the regular season, which explains why the Knicks held the Cavs to fewer than 100 points 4 times in the series. And looking at our schedule for the rest of the year, it's interesting. I mean, the Knicks, they're going to have to go up against the Spurs, which is tomorrow night on Friday Night Knicks, and then that's where things get really interesting. Oklahoma City, Miami, Sacramento, 3 playoff teams. The Heat technically are in the play-in, but 3 teams that are in the playoff picture. 2 are about as good as anyone else in the NBA, if I'm being honest with you, in OKC and Sacramento. Chicago, 2 of 3, of course. The Bucks are in between that. Chicago's in the play-in. We know Bucks are a team that we've struggled against this season. Did beat them on Christmas Day, but outside of that, haven't had much success. Boston, hopefully we can get at least OG back by then, just so we can have our best defender against a team that is just scoring a ton of points with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Brooklyn and Chicago. So playing the Bulls 3 of our last 6 games definitely is nice. We have Brooklyn as well in there. That's actually really it, though. I mean, the rest of those teams are going to be incredibly difficult to beat.